like this, right?
You can't do that first 30 seconds on here.
Come on, man.
And we are live right now, Eugene. Eugene Behind the Scenes, baby. The debut.
Yay.
All right. We got a packed house here tonight, I tell you.
Sold out to the rafters.
We can't get one more person in this chat. We're on fire. What's up, dude? You doing all right tonight?
Hanging and banging, thugging and bugging. Earlier today I was smiling and dialing, but then I was frowning and leaving.
Wait, you got fired today? Is that what you're saying? Is this breaking news already?
I'm not going to admit to having a straight job, but if I didn't see what I really did was I went undercover to see what the telemarketers were really like.
Yeah. And
I'm going to do an undercover series, and I still got it in my head. I've got it all written down on parchment paper of being a telemarketer, and that intense, sales-driven, cutthroat business. And I don't think there's a do not call list, man. I think that's a scam. There's not a do not call list.
You didn't see that, huh? Is that what you?
I know. I mean, we had to obey by it, but it wasn't like a huge nationwide. You can easily enter your name and number on a do not call list, and you're forever on it. No, I think you have to get on each individual company's do not call list. But I digress.
Wow. That's quite a way to kick off Eugene Behind the Scenes here, man.
Yay.
Yay.
We're pulling back the curtain, brother. This is behind the scenes. This is under the ring. This is in the car talk, man. We're bringing it right to you, straight to you.
Eugene's telling it all, man. Hey, Shane Harrington's in the house. You know Shane Harrington?
Absolutely. Shane Harrington, my boy.
I think he sent man, let me see if I can pull it up. I think I actually clipped it. He sent something in.
He sent a $20 super chat. Is that what you said?
No, not yet, man. Maybe he.
Well, we would accept it if he did.
Yeah, I don't know where it went. That's not it.
Not yet.
He said something that he. There it is.
Wait. Didn't I send you that pic of you and Michael in the front row of Louisville Gardens? Yes, you did. I got that. I got it somewhere.
I had put that in one of the videos, so
okay, yeah.
Shane Harrington made a comment on it, and he's in our live chat right now too. So
he was in that crowd too. He was like down the way from us.
So who was in that picture? Was that like high school buddies? I can't remember the story now. High school buddies.
So after I graduated high school in the summer between high school and starting college, WQMF, the radio station in Louisville, was going to have a raw egg eating contest for front row tickets to Monday Night Raw in the Louisville Gardens. And I guess they felt like they couldn't give people raw eggs, so it became a hard-boiled egg eating contest at 6 a.m. in front of the Louisville Gardens. My friend Michael and I went down there, and how many hard-boiled eggs you could eat in 95.7 seconds, and whoever ate the most in 95.7 seconds would get the 2 tickets. There was only about 6 or 8 people down there, but the hardest part was shelling the hard-boiled egg first, shelling it all. And I ate I think 8 or 9 hard-boiled eggs in 95.7 seconds, and we were on front row tickets to Monday Night Raw. And that's when they would do 1 live and 2 taped. So we were on TV in the front row for 3 weeks, and there was like a shot from WWE Network from that episode when the camera scanning the crowd, and there's Michael Caphammer and I. And he just recently passed away, I think, a year ago or so. Good man. He will be missed.
Got a good story, man. So that thing played a lot then in all the replays and stuff.
I don't know if it played in replays. I just took a screenshot of it, and I used it a lot.
Oh, I thought in the story you had said, I thought you said they had showed it again in another, SmackDown or Raw or taped or some other time. Maybe I misunderstood the story that I read.
In the history that's in my head, yeah, there was a big production and it was on there and everybody knows it. Kind of like in the history in my head, Billy Ray Cyrus used to take a young Miley Cyrus to watch us wrestle in the Nashville Fairgrounds in Nashville. In my head, that happened.
Well, I would take that.
Well, Miley Cyrus is a huge pro wrestling fan. Everybody knows that. She just come down to the National Fairgrounds to watch us.
Did she really? Is this
absolutely,
real?
Man. She's in the front row, cheering us on.
Hey, can you do me a favor? How far away is your camera from you right now? Is it close? Is there anyone? Do you have anything in front of it? You think you could take that mic and just hang it over the camera thing, or? Is that like just take it off your neck and just put the lanyard over it?
I had it right there the other day. You said that was okay. That one right there.
That might be good.
Yeah, because it's right a little bit in front of me.
There you go. Maybe if anybody in the chat there can tell us if you can hear Eugene Nick Dinsmore anymore or not. Got to get this thing sorted out. We will one day. One day. Hey, it's new, man. It's our dry run.
Yeah, I'm new here. I'm green. I don't know what I'm doing.
How about any big news there, Nick? You got to. Hey, let's tell the people this first of all. If you got questions you want to ask Eugene, baby, the Eugene Dinsmore at gmail.com. You can email questions. We'll cover them on the show when we come live. Maybe we'll make a video about them. One way or the other, we'll address them right here. The Eugene Dinsmore at gmail.com. How about that?
Where am I booked? Did you find out where I was booked yet?
I did not. No.
So February 24th, Saturday, February 24th, I'm coming to Escanaba, Michigan. I always pronounce it incorrectly and I say Escabana, and I still don't know which one it is, but I think it's Escanaba. And it's the big UPW, big anniversary show, Saturday, February the 24th. Eugene's going to be running wild in Escanaba. The UPW, I don't know their website, but everybody check it out. Roar.
Do you know who you're wrestling that night?
Man, I'm going to take on anybody that's crazy enough to get in the ring with Eugene, brother. I've been up and down, town to town. I've been coast to coast like butter and toast.
On fire. Escanaba. Did I say that right?
Escanaba, way up in the north side up there.
Escanaba. Hey, we do have a look at this though. We do have an actual fan email that we had. Looks like Noah Law maybe. It says, "Hi Eugene. First off, I'm a huge fan. Second, something I would like to know is how did your return in 2009 go, and why weren't you there for a longer period?" Holy cow, that's a tough question right off the bat. We should have probably pre-produced this show, and I should have smartened you up on that maybe. Hey, you don't have to answer any question you don't want to either. It's your show.
I can plead the fifth.
You sure can.
I'll go into the condensed version. I got rehired. I got refired. And that was the story. No, I think I got seen in May, and then WWE was in Louisville, and they wanted to bring me back as what is called a carpenter type wrestler, what I would wrestle with the younger guys and get them over. Basically, you've seen it done with other talent. But then when I showed up, apparently I was not in the shape that Vince thought I should be in. Although I didn't think Eugene was a body guy, although I wasn't in as good a shape as I should have been in. But that just got me fired right away. We're not selling old fat Eugene. Out the door. Cup of coffee.
So did they kind of smarten you up on that before the match, or did they just tell you after the match? Like, did they tell you that Vince didn't want old fat Eugene?
I think I heard that earlier. Because I think I just went to like 2 TVs, I think. Maybe 3. Maybe 4, I can't remember. But and then I heard that, and so I was trying to get leaned up a little bit. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't scheduled to go to Canada. And then I got scheduled to go to Canada like on the last day, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna fire me. And then I knew the match, and I was like, oh, they're gonna fire me. But
how long in between was it when you came back in 2009? How long had you been gone?
I don't know, 07, something 07, mid to fall 07. I can't remember.
Got it. All right. Hey, somebody else had sent us just a comment I wanted to put on here. You know, we did we recorded Eugene, how you got into pro wrestling. So if you've not seen that, go to our YouTube channel, Eugene, how I got into pro wrestling, and you can see all this stuff right here. But you had a classmate that actually was the daughter of Danny Davis. Is that correct?
Well, what the hell what's real Chris Wick talking about?
That's his. He said that was a sign from the universe.
Your classmate whose dad was a pro wrestler. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was April. That was April Davis.
So were you aware of Danny Davis at the time? And did you have any idea that she had a father that was in wrestling at the time at all? Did you have any idea, or was this all brand new right then when she talked?
Well, I knew who Danny Davis was for sure. I'd never seen him on video because when I was younger, we didn't have cable. We lived out in the country, and I'd just gotten cable. But I'd seen him in the magazine, so I knew exactly who he was. But then I didn't know he had a daughter, and I didn't know he lived in Southern Indiana, and she went to school there. And she came up to me. We did what I said it was the pep rally, right, for Homecoming King. Although I didn't win, but she comes up to me afterwards after they say Nick Dunsmore's coming down. He wants to be a WWF wrestler someday. And she goes, "Well, my dad's got the school." Blah blah blah. Watch the we did this one, right? Somebody can watch that one, right?
Yeah.
Get with it, Von Miles. Goddamn.
I don't even know what you said.
I said, man, I told you before, man. 1% of the population controls the world. They control 4% of the population, which are their minions and their puppets. 90% of the population is like out zombies, right? 5% of the population is trying to wake the zombies up, and the 1% are trying to get the 4% to stop the 5% from waking up the 90%. I think that was on Patrick Bet David's podcast. A woman said that. So I got to get credit. That's not even close to anything I would ever come up with. But she said it like that, boy.
That's good stuff, man.
Talking about these elites controlling everything. Control and divide, man. That's what's going on.
Maybe we should get back to a little Vince talk. We haven't talked any Vince McMahon for a little bit.
Let's not let Eugene run in tangents too much. What's up first?
You're talking. Oh, go ahead. You can do whatever you want, man. But did you see this stuff about John Laurinaitis' lawyer coming out and saying that Johnny Ace was also a victim in all this? Says he denies the allegations. He said, like the plaintiff, Mr. Laurinaitis is a victim in the case, not a predator, and the truth will come out.
Because he would be alone in his hotel rooms, and they were under such brain by Vince mind control that they would go to the hotel room, just the two of them without Vince, and proceed.
Oh, the female, yes.
Yeah,
female,
yeah. I mean, I can understand her being in a bad state of mind and being groomed and coerced and manipulated and used and being put in a situation that she finds herself in. But I don't think Johnny's in that same situation.
Yeah, it says, count how many times in the complaint Vince exerts control over both of them. That was one of the quotes from the lawyer. Now,
I was thinking about this, and Vince, time and time again, and people have talked about this, Vince has the ability to control the conversation, control situations, not just like monetarily, but just you hear about the guys that go in for a meeting with Vince because they got something that they're going to talk about, and by the end, they're coming out happy about something that's completely opposite that they didn't want to do. He just has that power to be able to negotiate.
Yeah. Did you have how many encounters did you have with Vince? Were you ever influenced or empowered? Were you ever whatever by Vince? Did you have any situations like that?
I was just around him mainly around the ring or in the back when we'd be filming something or walking through something. I was very quiet because I was the new guy, and plus I was very intimidated. But I never, like I said before, I never saw Vince say anything out of line, do anything out of line, do anything racy. I think the first time I heard him swear, it was like, oh my God, that voice that I've heard since I was a kid. I finally heard him swear. I never saw him get angry unless it was a character on TV. I never saw him yell at anybody, although I've heard that he has. But he was always calm, cool, collect, and didn't sweat.
Yeah.
But I think it was when Vince made the match between Eugene and Eric Bischoff, I think. And I was in the ring when Vince made it. I can't remember if I hit Eric then or not, but I was compelled to kiss Vince live on TV on the cheek. And I just did it. It wasn't scripted or anything like that. I just grabbed him and kissed him and held it for a good 1 count. And there's a picture I've got somewhere on all my 1 billion pictures I have on my iPhone of that face Vince is making while I'm kissing him right on the cheek.
Wow, that's pretty cool. You should have sent that to me, and I could have pulled it up right now. It's been awesome.
Man, I'm on the roll. I'm feeling the energy, feeling the vibe.
Hey, if you're in the chat right now, you can ask a couple questions. We also have the super chat open. Eugene, you know what the super chat is?
Yes. No, tell me. I don't. I've heard you talk about it. It sounds fantastic.
So what the super chat is, people can actually help contribute to the show, help keep this show going.
Well, it's not like I just got fired today.
Well, I mean, yeah.
It's just like it's not like I just purchased a $50 telemarketing license and got fired. I wouldn't, go on with the super chat.
It was probably that bad microphone. That's probably why you got fired. You have to buy a telemarketing license?
Yeah, but it's transferable. So if I want to go over to 1-800 accounts down the street, it's just a $10 refiling fee.
Wow, that's good stuff.
And the bad thing was in 80 days I was going to have 5 days of paid off. So I don't even know what to do now.
Ah, man, I guess we'll just have to record more videos.
You have to do something.
Yeah, but the super chat's open. If anybody would be kind enough to have a paid question here, if you know how to work the super chat, we'd really appreciate those. And also, if you could go right now and hit like this video right now, maybe even share it, something like that. That would be awesome. We're trying to get this channel built up. We had like 50,000 views on our first video, so we're doing our best. Probably get on here about once a week live, something like that. But we need some questions, some contributions, things like that to keep this show rolling.
I was getting ready to say that right there, Laurinaitis. We need questions from the fans. EugeneDinsmore@gmail.com is the email address. I need some questions. I think eventually we'll have our own. Are we going to have a Twitter for this and all the other? Are you going to take up the banter of doing all the social media for this also? Or are we just going to be on here? I don't know. Whatever it is, I don't care. I'm having fun.
That's right. Right now, all I have to promote this show, besides what I do on my Von Lila's Facebook page, is I also have a Lila Studios page where I do promote this show on there, and I can also do paid ads on there. So Lila Studios is all I got because I do kind of year and rip show both, so I don't have to keep having about 8 million accounts. It's
Hey, is Bruce Pritchard still doing his podcast? Has he talked about the Vince thing?
I think he has a podcast, but I don't know that he's talked about it. I mean, there's rumors,
that he has been there in the thick of it. And he doesn't say something? I don't know. I didn't look, I guess. I guess I am assuming that he didn't say anything. Maybe he did.
Well, I would assume he didn't, probably.
Does anyone in the chat know? How come I can't see the chat?
I don't know. Let's see. You should be able to. You can't see it at all?
I don't know. There's 3 buttons here, and I'm afraid to press it because I think it'll kick me out. That's probably because I need to be on a God-blessed computer and not a iPhone.
Hey, I was going
to buy a computer with my first paycheck, but that's when I had a job.
We start getting enough super chats in here, and we'll put it all toward your computer so you can start doing this show with the computer. How about that? Hey, so you mentioned Bischoff earlier, and we did actually have a question about Bischoff earlier. I mean, not on here, but on our channel. Just in general, what was it like working with Bischoff? You got Bischoff stories.
Okay, so I was trying to remember this one when I said I don't remember if I punched this Eric Bischoff in the ring when Vince made the match and I kissed Vince. I don't know if that was the same segment, but there was a time when Eugene finally had enough with Uncle Eric and punched him in the face, and we built to the match. So I'd met Eric Bischoff when I was in WCW in 1998. I shook his hand in the hallway, didn't really get to meet him. And then when they brought him in, I remember I was not on TV yet, but I was on the road with SmackDown, and we were at a live event somewhere on a Monday night watching Raw, and Bischoff walks out, and like everybody in that locker room was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it!" And they said everybody in the backstage was that way too. When I got called up, I thought it was great for me because Bischoff was at the top of everything. He was in almost every segment. He was the top guy, although he wasn't in the ring. And to get paired with him was perfect. Gave Eugene instant credibility. Also being paired with Regal was like the most beneficial thing. But the Have I said it before? Being Eric Bischoff's nephew gave Eugene some credibility. So he was the easiest guy to work with and wanted to get me over as much as anything. So I had no problem working with him. He's a great guy. When I had my pro wrestling company in South Dakota, he came in and did an appearance for free. And we did
oh, wow.
Eugene's musical chairs with Eric Bischoff. And he did because he said on one of his first podcasts, not the 83 weeks one, but the one he had before that, I was on there and he said, talking about my wrestling company, I said, well, I would love to have you come do a show, for a charity benefit, because we did for Feeding South Dakota, and he came in with a big donation. So always happy with the world. But in the angle, when Eugene finally punches Vince, there was someone in the back, an agent, I'll just say that came up and asked me to hit Bischoff hard and hurt him.
Nice.
This guy was an agent that was with WCW prior. That probably doesn't narrow it down.
I was going to say, come on, spill the beans. We're behind the scenes,
I
baby.
can't say it yet, man.
We're behind the scenes.
Maybe.
I mean, it's a long time ago. Nobody watches this show yet anyway.
But it's tough when it's someone that you watched growing up that was a hero-esque. Wasn't William Regal. Absolutely was not William Regal. But someone wanted me to hit him.
Oh, wow.
So then I'm stuck between, well, there's a guy that's an agent that writes reports for me on every weekend on my matches that could really make me look bad. But I don't want to I don't want to take a liberty on a guy that's going to give me his chin.
Right.
So I didn't try to hit Bischoff and I didn't try to hurt him. And I don't think I did. Although we had a match in Madison Square Garden, in the Garden, brother, New York City, the big apple. And I broke his ribs. I tried to do that thing. Fit Finley used to do it, and then Lance Storm used to do it, and I think maybe Mr. Kennedy did it, where he got the guy on the shoulders and he did the roll forward.
Oh, yeah.
Landed right on him and broke his ribs. I never did that again. I couldn't do it.
Had you ever done it before?
Maybe once or twice, maybe, but I like Ringo was like, "Oh, it's easy. Just do a roll forward." I was like, "Okay," and just boom, right on. So no.
That's great, man. So when you came on, I remember when you came on, you were Eugene Dinsmore in the very first time they introduced you, though, weren't you? And I don't think they really mentioned that anymore after that.
I don't remember if it was like I think it was the first episode, and then there was an episode where Hunter cut the promo on my mom, and I think he said Mrs. Dinsmore.
Oh, he did.
I think so. My mom got mad too. She wrote a letter to WWE. Apparently, she told me that.
No way. For real? Why?
She got hooked.
Are you serious? No way. You got to be ribbing right now. You have to be. She didn't write a letter to WWE.
Yes, she did. Yes, I got so mad. I wrote a letter.
We need to get your mom on the show.
Oh man.
Let's see. We got Derek B. I don't know if you know Derek B, but Eugene, my boy, how the heck are you? Big fan since your debut. Did a good job on bringing Eugene to life.
All right, Derek B, I appreciate you, brother.
How tough was that? Was that tough? I mean, you looked like a natural, I must say.
Okay, so I got to a point where I could do the wrestling and not even think about it. And that was easy. And I feel like in anything in life, once you become that comfortable doing anything and it becomes easy and you can make it look easy, then you can think about other stuff. So then I would try to think character-wise, and literally it was something that came upon me, and I don't know where I got it. Like, I don't know where I pulled the actual Eugene from. I had the name from the actual kid named Eugene Palermo in Pittsburgh who had Down syndrome. He passed away, I think, 2 years ago. He was so happy. I met him. He had his Eugene shirt. He was so happy because somebody finally one of the wrestlers had the same name as him. And then I knew I wanted to be a comedy guy, so I just tried to put it all together. Did you come up with the Eugene character yourself? Rip Rogers gave me the idea for the character, but then I kind of put it all together using the in-ring stuff, and the further story on Eugene was supposed to be that he could answer all the trivia, and he knew every trivia question, every little minute detail. Oh, they only drew 742 people in 1982 in the San Francisco this, and blah, blah, blah. But when Eugene started doing everybody else's moves and everybody started liking him, it just went in this direction. So the actual, layer of the onion never got peeled.
Right.
Maybe Eugene should host a Jeopardy segment.
Yeah, that'd be good. You'd win for sure. We'll go ahead and just keep hitting the chat, even though we're probably
My favorite Eugene moment is when you wrestled Tatanka. How cool was that? Man, that was so cool. I just come back, started an angle with Kurt Angle. I'd won the Kurt Angle gold medal. And they said, okay, you're going to wrestle Tatanka. And I was like, oh, my God, awesome. Tatanka was over. And he and I became really good friends after that. I've been all around the world with Tatanka. Good dude. Right? Super good dude. His son is amateur wrestling now, and he's like big, proud father. I see him all the time posting about son won the tournament, won the match.
I follow him, too. So I have seen those posts that he does. Son looks pretty good, man.
Looks tough.
We had a performance center question. Just let's see. We got Tom C in the house here. Any stories from your time working at the performance center? Anything that you'd like to share?
So I was a coach for the crop that came in, like the people that either they just hired or had zero experience. So a lot of my stuff was learning how to get in the ring, run the ropes, hit the ropes, blah, blah, blah. Fairly new stuff. WWE at that time when I was a coach was willing to invest 2 years into training a talent without having them wrestle in front of a live audience.
That's why
some guys had been there 2 years and had never wrestled on a show. I think at that time they were willing to contribute something like 4 to 7 years to fully train the talent, and I guess they assumed that years 1 and 2 could be not on the shows because the shows are full, I guess. And you need to make it to years 3 and 4 before you get there. But the guys need to learn how to wrestle in the ring. So I thought up, what if we have a show right here in the Performance Center? And all the guys that are on NXT TV can have a, entertaining night and just be in the crowd. And all the younger talent who either have never had a match or have only had a few matches can wrestle in front of somewhat of an audience. And it was a time when, how do I want to put this? The climate in the coach's locker room was sometimes tense, sometimes great, sometimes nothing, occasionally tense, right?
Yeah.
But this night, the locker room was off the hook, man. These guys had such a good time. Everybody, all the top guys were like, getting into it. Billy Gunn was sitting in the front row just going absolutely crazy because all these underneath guys, we put together a show just like I used to do at OVW when I trained the class there. We put together the show.
I was getting ready to say an amateur show. It sounds like
yes, and it was an entertaining, fun show. They laughed at me when I said, let's do that. And then a couple years later, they had WrestleMania there. I was the first, and they laughed at me.
Wow, that's awesome. That's a great story. I've never heard that story.
DDP came there once to show off his yoga, man, and played the video. And the first guy that was never going to be able to walk straight again. All of a sudden, he's doing the DDP on his head. Made me cry, but super cool doing the DDP yoga in there.
So did you get any heat for doing it after it was done? Like, did anybody give you any shit for doing it?
No, because I scheduled it. But at first, they were kind of like, I don't know. See, I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't need to have, we would never have shows in here, that kind of thing.
Except for WrestleMania.
Yeah. This really isn't a place where we should have shows, and now they got like stadium stands in there.
That's awesome. Holy shit! I got to go right to this one. Look, we got our first super chat, Eugene. First time ever. This is the first one we've ever gotten.
Thank you.
Thank you, Minx.
Are you going to attend any of the upcoming conventions or shows in Philadelphia? I'm not booked yet for any of the upcoming conventions or shows in Philadelphia, but if we can get enough people to email the conventions and the shows in Philadelphia, I would love to be in Philadelphia.
That's right.
Have you ever had a real Philly cheesesteak?
I have not. No.
They use Velveeta.
I don't think so. Do they? No way.
Yes.
Do they really?
Yes.
I can't tell tonight.
Velveeta's not even cheese, man. It's not even cold.
I can't tell tonight when Eugene's ribbing and when he's not ribbing.
Man. There's two restaurants across the street from one another and a line out the door of both of them. And these were like the original 2 Philly cheesesteak places.
Hey, put over Minx real quick. Give her a shout out for this.
Minx Alexandria. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. This is going to be awesome. Does anybody else have any questions? Let's roll the dice. I'm feeling forthcoming tonight. She
says they do, and they use Cheese Whiz. She said.
That's what I meant. God bless it, not Velveeta. Yeah, you're right. Cheese Whiz. I misspoke. Cheese Whiz is even worse, I think.
Yeah, I would never guess that. Adam Lane said, Nick, we miss you in Sioux Falls. Any chance you'll appear in recently announced reincarnation of Midwest All-Pro? Excuse me.
Man, if there's one thing I've learned about professional wrestling, it's never say never, brother.
Never say never. That you heard it here first. Eugene will be in Sioux Falls at Midwest All-Pro coming soon. You heard it here first.
My law team told me that I can neither confirm nor deny that I've signed an exclusive contract with him. So,
Tom C, got another question here. What are you up to lately? Any interest in continuing to coach or train?
Tom C, man, I probably would, but I'm in St. Pete, Florida right now, and there's like a wrestling school in every block around here. I need to find somewhere that doesn't have a wrestling school and set up stakes and maybe start training then. But I'm just on the sidelines right now, just a free agent, see what's going on. Boots got a mile or two on them, so.
Like Sioux Falls.
I'm negotiating a tour, a short tour, week and a half, 2 weeks of England coming up in April. Negotiating. No confirmations yet.
Since you're in St. Pete now, do you ever hang out at Rick Victor's school there in Tampa? I think him and Susio are in Tampa. You ever been over there?
I haven't been over to their school, but last year when I was here, Rick Victor was nice enough to come pick me up and take me down to Hogan's Hangout, the best restaurant in Clearwater.
Did you guys see Hulk Hogan there?
Not that day, no. But no. I literally follow him on all the social media, the beach shop and everything. And man, they're down there doing karaoke every Monday night. I'm gonna have to ask the Hulkster for a job now.
Maybe that's what you should do. Tell him you got your telemarketing license. Derek V's back. He said, "Who would you, as Eugene, would have loved to have a storyline with? Was there anybody you didn't work with that you really wanted to?"
Derek B, what I wanted was some kind of resolution of Regal and Eugene.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it gets to a turn or whether it gets to something, because we literally had magic there. And I don't know, it ended abruptly because I got injured and then he got sent to SmackDown, because I think the thought was they could always try to recreate it, but sometimes once it runs the course, it runs the course.
Yeah, I couldn't remember how that ended, actually. So he got moved over when you were hurt?
Yeah. I tore my patella tendon and had patella tendon replacement surgery. And then he got drafted to SmackDown with the Mexicools.
Oh, wow. Didn't know that.
I think they debuted on the same night on SmackDown, I remember, because he came out and the Mexicools came out on a lawnmower.
All right, I'm gonna go to some more current news. I know we've talked. You don't keep up with wrestling a whole lot, but you do know a little bit about it. Any comments on The Rock? He's been getting booed here lately at these house shows, supposedly. So just to fill you in a little bit, he showed up. Looks like they're leaning toward him and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. It's not been announced, not been official, but it looks like the fans now are turning on The Rock, turning on the Great One, getting behind Cody even more. Any opinion on that? Do you think they should go with The Rock versus Roman? Do you think Cody should be mad if they do? Do you think the fans should be mad if they do?
I'm not saying that they're not going with Cody, because although I don't watch the live product, follow the live product, closely, I will see all the social media and the retweets and people talking about it. And I've seen the predicted programming of Roman Reigns and The Rock for 6 months now, and I thought they were in the main event. But I've also seen the build of Cody, and this great story that's coming to the very top. And he can't just as a performer, he can't just walk away. Okay, Rock, I've been working on this for years after being fired and just starting my own company and making my way back and winning a title and getting hurt and doing it for my dad. And here we go, and I'll just give it back to you. He's going to have to get in there somehow. And wouldn't it be more smart, like when The Rock had that match with Cena, he got injured, he had to have surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't it be easier to have a triple threat match, just like they did when Batista came back with Randy and Daniel Bryan? It was a triple threat because The Rock's a great one, but maybe he might need a little time to catch a breather in a triple threat match. I'm not saying he can't. He probably could go an hour. He could probably do an hour Broadway, not use the same hold twice. No sweat professional.
Do you think that would satisfy the fans that are pissed off right now? Do you think that would satisfy them, a triple threat match?
Here's what I've always said. WWE, if they want to put pedal to the metal, they can make it right and make it believable and make the people love it.
Do you think it means as much if Cody wins that match? Kind of
if he beats The Rock and Roman in a triple threat match?
But it's like technically two baby faces against the heel.
But not if The Rock's turning heel, not the people are booing The Rock. Well, that's two heels.
But yes, I see what you mean. But he has definitely taken a stance against Roman Reigns. So it appears.
Now the question is, was the plan triple threat match, or did Cody, because of backstage political reasons, legitimately step aside on storyline and say, we need The Rock here because we need either a distraction or just because he became. What is he on TKO? Is he head of the board of directors or just on the board?
On the board, like $30 million on the board. Gets to keep the name The Rock. I don't know.
Because I was listening to Cornette talk about that, and everybody thinks that was, they just did it because of the Vince thing. And Cornette made a good point. I think it was him that those deals take a long time to put together. They don't just come up in 3 or 4 days. Although we are seeing now that somebody knew something at some time previous to when we did. So maybe that was it. I don't know. Is this going to be the greatest WrestleMania ever? And The Rock and Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are going to have the best main event? Maybe is it supposed to be? Or are we trying to figure The Rock in because we need a big shiny object over here so nobody looks at the sex trafficking that's going on in the back street?
I mean that could be it too.
So hold on now. Vince goes on Donahue, and I think he also went on Larry King Live in 1992. Holding off the allegations of sexual misconduct. Sable sues WWE for sexual misconduct. Have we seen this coming and everybody just kind of laughed it off or chucked it off? Or, where do we think this was going to go?
It took a while.
So the steroid trial in 93, the indictment was for conspiring to distribute steroids, possession of illegal steroids with intent to distribute, and embezzlement for allegedly using Titan Sports Inc. money for purchase of the drugs. The embezzlement seems very similar to the money that was used as the hush money that Jeremy McDevitt apparently wrote up the contract for, either protecting or shielding WWE, but without WWE knowing. And this was a publicly traded company at the time. Is that not illegal? I don't know. I'm not on Wall Street. I'm not Michael Wall Street or IRS. But I know the IRS is hiring, so maybe.
I don't know. I have no idea, man.
Somebody in the chat know? Somebody's got to know this shit.
I thought you were relating Phil Donahue all the way up to The Rock versus Roman Reigns somehow. That's what I was waiting on.
I can't pull it back to The Rock and Roman Reigns, and I'm still fascinated on the Vince story. I hate that we're probably going to see more people that got hurt, but something I heard a very good friend say a lot of times. I think Vince. I didn't say this. I think Vince McMahon made a deal with the devil. And I was just thinking, if it's time to pay the piper, good Lord, if he goes to prison, this could be it, man.
I did see where they're starting to investigate possibly a
federal investigation has started. Federal criminal investigation has started, and they seized his phone.
So you brought up the devil. I'll be devil's advocate here for just a second. Is there any chance that this is a fabricated, maybe not all the way made up, but exaggerated story, and it's going to come out one day that maybe Vince isn't guilty? Just devil's advocate. That's not my opinion. I'm just playing the other side. Any chance of that, do you think?
So I feel like, but the thing is, like what are we talking about here? The lawsuit is because he didn't pay her money.
Correct.
It's not about any of that other stuff. They're just saying that all this shit went on, and that's what they're supposed to be paid for, and they weren't paid, so she was sex trafficked. She might have been, you know. Maybe more will come out that shows she was into it and it was just kinky sex. I don't know. But because Vince threatened her and said he had the best lawyers on speed dial and he could get this stuff taken care of or swept under the rug or something like that, she knew that and still came forward. And the beginning of her lawsuit said something like, I heard it earlier, she's coming forward for herself, but also for all the victims that are afraid to come forward.
Yeah.
They said that they've talked to more of the victims. I mean, Cornette did a great video about the timeline, and I tried to keep up with it, and I thought it was awesome. Because, like, March of 2019, Vince meets Ms. Grant. April 12th, 2019, Linda steps down from the appointed spot as U.S. Administrator for Small Business. I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but she wanted to be in the Senate bad. They asked me, did I talk about that where Johnny called me and wanted me to do a stand-up for WWE video?
I don't think so. I don't think you
This
mentioned
was,
that.
when was this? This was after I got fired in 07, so maybe this was 09. I got fired in 09, I mean, the second time. the pole on a gimmick on a pole match. I think I was after that, so I flew up there. Triple H was in the little, whatever, the room where we recorded it all, and that was the only time I ever said Eugene was disabled.
Oh, yeah.
Never on TV was that said. They just said Eugene's special. Or Eugene's crazy. He's a little silly. But that in the Linda trial, not the trial, I'm sorry, in her run for Senate, the opposition had said that Vince McMahon, WWE, has put this Down syndrome kid's head in the water and they poured green paint on him and they shaved his head. Vince has done all this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, handicapped child. And then I went on and said, listen, this was the character that we played, blah, blah, blah. But that was the first time that I ever, you know.
Got it.
Came out like that. But
Bernard's got a good point.
I remember where I was going with this. Supposedly, Linda paid so much money on that Senate and didn't make it, and then was appointed by Trump for the whatever I just said was a small business, and then steps down. I wonder if there's something with that.
I mean, it seems like there would be.
Right?
I would think. I think Bernard's hit it right on the head, though. He said Vince getting a dyed mustache was the biggest red flag.
I said this from the get-go that he did that because the minute he did that and came back, everybody goes, look at his mustache. And not one person talked about the allegations, about the hush money. Because that was his big first appearance since the hush money deal.
That's right, yep.
And I knew that right away. I said, he did that because, okay, so just for our super chatters here, I'll go into a deep story. When I was a coach at NXT, after about a year, so my hair was long, and every day I would probably put a little bit of hairspray on and just pull it up tight so it was kind of pulled up. And I wore it like that most of the time. When I didn't wrestle as Eugene as a coach, but before that, then I would let the hair come down, blah, blah, blah. One point I went living in Orlando as a coach, a little embarrassing story, but I went in to get my hair cut, and this woman's like, if you got sand in your hair, another woman comes over and goes, oh, no, he's got lice. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, yeah, you got this all over you. But the way lice work, right, like they'll be near your skin, and the little knit will come on your hair, and your hair will grow. And eventually these knits had come all the way out. So I must have had these lice for like 2 years. Slept in a bed with my wife every night. She didn't get it, you know.
Okay.
I think I got this in India maybe because I was around some great people, but I think some of them might have had lice in India. But I could be wrong. It could have been any indie show that I did where I took a picture with anybody. You know what I mean?
Wait a second. How could you go that long with lice? Wouldn't it have itched and
Right. You would think that, but I read some stuff where some people never know. Bob Marley apparently died with 3 different types of lice in his head, and he didn't even know it. So what did I do? I called and they said, well, get it taken care of. So I took a couple of days off and I literally I used the medicine and shaved my head. But then when I shaved my beard, I left the big mustache to just try to do some kind of distraction. And, everybody knew exactly what happened, right? So I come back and all the talent's there and all the coaches are there and I'm the kid that got lice, right?
Wow. So you and Vince both leave the mustache for a distraction.
It just felt like the right thing to do. Something, audacious that like everybody, oh, what's that? A big shiny object. Look over here.
That's wild. I never knew you had lice, man. That's gonna break the internet. This is where we're gonna get all our subscribers, I think, from that story right there. Hey, you and Hunter in the bouncy castle made me laugh my ass off as a kid. Thanks for the memories. That was hilarious, man.
So that was in Winnipeg, right? That was in Winnipeg, Canada. And the day before, we were in Vancouver. I believe we were in Vancouver. Now, normally, we would come to the town or be near the town of Raw the night before. So generally, Sunday night, we would be somewhere near or be able to get into a hotel fairly early to get sleep so you can get up and get a workout Monday before TV. But that particular day, we left Vancouver and flew to Winnipeg. Or maybe we left Calgary and flew to Winnipeg. I think we left Vancouver. Either way, we went from the West Coast and flew to, I think, maybe Mountain Time. So we lost an hour. We landed at like 7 a.m. and we couldn't check into any hotel. So we were up all day. I think we had to be there early anyway because it was Mountain Time. Maybe it was Central Time, but irregardless, in Winnipeg, I was on like 6 different segments running all around. The one segment was the opening segment, which was Eugene was the general manager, and musical chairs, which is I think one of the most memorable segments that I did. And then the bouncy house was there too. And we did like 6 segments in the bouncy house. And we walked through all those segments. I think I might have talked about this. I don't know on here, but we walked through all those segments about 3 or 4 times. So by the end of the day, I hadn't slept. My calves were killing me. I've been bouncing for hours, but it was fun.
Memories, baby.
In Winnipeg, they call them the Peelers. Speaking of the Peelers, it's Hustler Rip Rogers' birthday today, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah. Shout out to the Hustler Rip Rogers, man.
Hustler Rip Rogers. Yay.
Rip Rogers. I don't know if anybody here in the chat, in the comments, knows Rip Rogers, but
I think everybody does.
Trainer at OVW. So he helped train Nick Dinsmore, Eugene.
Now, see, I feel bad for all the guys that came after me because Rip was retired by then and didn't really get to wrestle him. But I wrestled him 2 to 3 times a week in front of live audiences. And then also got the benefit of having the coach, telling me, what to do, why to do it, why I did wrong, blah, blah, blah. And he was a great coach. He's a great coach still.
Yeah, the Hustler 70. So just to tell a little story, I get some heat on. So I've been doing Rip Rogers channel for like 2 years now. Actually, Friday will be our 2-year anniversary. On our channel, on our video, it's like I get comments like, who the fuck's Von Lilas? He doesn't look like he could ever get laid. Like this guy reminds me of Vince McMahon. This guy is whatever, So I get all kinds of heat on our channel so far, which is fine, whatever. I don't really give a shit. I go back.
Did you tell me that you backed down Hogan and pinned Cena?
I did not tell him that. I mean, I did beat John Cena. I did show Hulk Hogan the door as I was the bodyguard for The Rock. But I was also, remember when me and you met? We met in college at IU Southeast. I just went to Wednesday night. I think it was Wednesday at that time. OVW TV taping. I saw you wrestle Rip because Rip was my guy. We're both from Seymour. Rip actually also trained me too. And Nick trained me. Nick was my first wrestling trainer I ever had. I remember showing up the first day and you were like, what the hell are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm here for wrestling practice. You're like, you're a school teacher. Get the fuck out of here. You already got a job. And I'm like, no, dude. I want to wrestle. But anyway, I saw you in college class. I was like, I know I just saw that guy wrestle Rip last night. And then I looked, it was a computer class. I looked at your screen. It was all WWF stuff or whatever. And I was like, I know. I was like, did you just wrestle last night? And you're like, yeah. I was like, God, what's it like wrestling Rip Rogers, man? It was wild. And you were one of my first matches, one of my first single matches.
Where was that?
That was the not the Ramada Inn, that public school 89 or whatever we used to wrestle at.
109? Was it 109 or 89?
I don't remember. Whatever number it was, that public school.
It wasn't Beach Grove with the ceiling that came down like.
No, that was the Ramada Inn.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't there. I had the baggy blue pants on. I just remember being so blown up at the time, and then I messed something up, and you were holding the ropes open for me to get back in, and when I did, you turned on me, you kicked the rope, then you just started beating the shit out of me. Oh, it was awesome. I just couldn't believe how blown up I was.
Yeah.
Like, first match, like just hyperventilating, man. So anyway, yeah. Rip, Nick. Known them for forever. You also chopped Pat McAfee. I did chop Pat McAfee a couple times as well. So throw that on your list. Throw that on your list when you're mentioning Cena and.
To start with that. He lit up Pat McAfee, backed down Hogan, even pinned Cena.
There we go. That's
bodyguard for The Rock.
It's all I've got. That's my whole career right there. We don't really have anything else in the chat right now, man. We've been on here 50 minutes, close to an hour, so that's not bad. Pulled an hour. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Eugene, before we get off here?
I don't know. What was I going to say? I had some stuff written down, but it's all the same bullshit, man. I'm watching this Vince story, and I'm just mesmerized by it. I don't know. Maybe that just says I'm not watching too much entertainment.
I just wonder, like, when it all starts unfolding. Like, how long will this investigation take?
Well, supposedly some of those NDAs go back to like the early 2000s, maybe. And is this? I mean, I'm assuming if there's only 5 women, if that signed NDAs, was that like the most deviant, debaucherous stuff that he did to these women? You know, because like I said before, if it was just an affair, what would that matter?
Right, but I'm even talking about this specific one. Like, if it's right now under federal investigation, like, how long does this investigation take? Like,
how long has it been going on is the question.
Yeah.
Like, I heard like it's been going on since 2020, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, and the thing I saw from, I think it was her lawyer, said that the NDA is not even a legal. If it's an illegal act, the NDA is not even legal.
Yeah, the Sex Trafficking Act negates all the NDA if they can prove that. But my thing is in the civil suit, if he doesn't settle out of court and he goes to trial and they find a civil suit, if they find him whatever, that's proven that like he's sex trafficked,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And like that's I don't understand because like a criminal trial you need what's the term they use? Over a reasonable doubt or more than a shadow of a doubt or something like that. In the civil suit, you just need a preponderance of the evidence. That's like fucking Judge Judy, man. You know what I mean? And he's got sex trafficking on a civil case, and WWE is on it too. Like, what happens if she wins a sex trafficking case against WWE? You can't tell me, Vince. I mean, if she wins and Vince doesn't go to jail, is Johnny going to go to jail? He's already rolling over.
Johnny's a victim. He's
already rolling over.
He's a victim, baby. He's ready to turn over any evidence. I think.
What the fuck does Bruce Pritchard know? That's what we need to find out.
Somebody get him on here right now.
Everybody needs to email him and tweet him and text him and send him a carrier pigeon. God damn it! What do you know and when did you know it?
Somebody send him a link right now. Get him in this chat. So what?
Who else? And like, who's the celebrity doctor? So wait a minute now. He sent her to the therapist, or did he just have the therapist bang her? I can't remember which it was. I think the therapist banged her.
What I read was
she sent her there, but we also sent her to a celebrity doctor because she was having such panic attacks over this whole ordeal, losing sleep. You know, she was suffering from post-traumatic stress. So Vince sent her to a doctor for it, his doctor.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. Let me ask this: if you're going to send somebody to your doctor because they're having physical effects of of post-traumatic stress and mental breakdown. Mental breakdown my ass, he said. Doesn't that somewhat validate if she's having physical, what's it called? Like physical manifestations from the stress, that maybe something bad is going on? Because maybe she was kinky and like the old dude. Maybe she liked to be shit on, but you think she liked to be like passed around? I can't believe that. And again, these are all allegations.
Uh-oh, you just went silent. You went mute on us. He literally dropped the mic, I think.
Might have run out of battery.
No, it's
or it just turned off for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know how long. I don't know. It sounds a lot different now than what it did. So.
No, it's a battery. I might have to switch over to the regular one.
That's all right. I think we're about done here anyway, man.
Hey, I want to thank you.
Can't hear you. Just use your phone.
Now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? I went to a show over the weekend. I wrestled on a show, and I got caught in a fierce conversation with a deaf guy. I did. The minute I knew he's a deaf wrestler, I got his number, so we're texting back and forth. Because I trained a deaf wrestler in Louisville, the Ram Jam. I trained him through texting because every time I talked to him, he couldn't hear me. The little son of a bitch.
I thought. Sorry, I thought you were making some big announcement to thank all our fans and.
I think I started with that. I don't know
and,
what happened. I just went on a tangent. I don't know what happened.
All that kind of stuff. I
But
thought you were
yeah,
getting ready to close this show out.
What?
I thought you were getting ready to close this show out with a big.
Yeah, I started with that, but then I think my concussion syndrome just sent me somewhere else.
I wish I could get a fade on that thing. I can't fade it.
Why?
I think that's it, man. Thanks for everybody joining us tonight. We had some people said they really enjoyed it, so share this thing, like it, share it.
We need more questions, so email us the questions.
Get more people on. We're going to do this like once a week or once a month or once a week probably, if we can get a schedule down.
If we can get the following.
Get a following going. So all that kind of stuff. Thanks for posting on Facebook about the live stream. Keep it coming. Yep, we'll keep it. We'll keep it going. We'll get it figured out. Thanks, everybody. We're out of here.